Sarah, it is Fun Fact Friday and I'm going to talk about quilting because I've been doing a lot of quilting lately. The largest quilt in the US is 11,390 square feet and it depicts the state of North Dakota. I don't know who decided that's what they were going to do, but that's what they did. And then according to a survey done in 2010, quilters are predominantly female, which is pretty par for the course, I think. However, the average age, I don't know if this is surprising or not, but the average age of quilters is 62 as of 2010. I feel like a lot of young people are quilting now, but it's still crazy to me. As far as technical quilting facts, the standard seam allowance for a quilt is 1/4 inch, which I have learned in the sense that if you're off, it throws off your geometry a ton. And then as far as fabric stuff goes, there's a lot of weird phrases that you'll hear quilters use. Things like fat quarters and layer cakes and charm packs and jelly rolls and all of these things, which seem to be predominantly food related. And I'm going to kind of define some of those. So a fat quarter is a piece of fabric that's usually 18 by either 21 or 22 inches. And it's called a fat quarter because it's the same amount of fabric you get if you buy a 1/4 of a yard, but it's fat. So a 1/4 of a yard is 9 inches, and then the width of the fabric is usually somewhere between 42 and 44. So it'd be 9 by 44. But a fat quarter is 18, which is half a yard, so it's double your 1/4, but half as wide, so it's 18 by 21. So it's a fat 1/4 of a yard, because it's the same amount of fabric. A charm square are pre-cut 5-inch squares, and they usually come in a charm pack, which usually has 40 different fabrics in it, depending on the charm pack. And when you make a charm quilt, you leave them as 5-inch squares and you use them all. And a true charm quilt doesn't use the same fabric twice. So if you're making a king size charm quilt, it's a lot of different fabrics. Then you have a layer cake, which is like a charm square, but a layer cake is 10 by 10, and it also usually comes in about 40 fabrics per pack, depending on the pack that you buy. And then a jelly roll is kind of this little spool of fabric. I mean, it's fabric that's all wound around itself, so it is a roll. And it's pre-cut strips from selvage to selvage, which is where the printed part of the fabric is, the part that goes on the edge of the loom, where it usually has the manufacturer. And they're 2.5-inch wide strips. And yeah, quilting, man, it's super cool. You should do it. Actually, don't do it. It's an expensive and terrible hobby that I probably should never have started.